I've not looked at these at all, which is nice because it's the excitement of just discovering what's happened. I know there was a little bit of news right after we finished recording last week. I'm assuming it's going to pop up on the solicits. If it doesn't, we'll mention it afterwards, but I'm assuming we're going to see it in the solicits. So, yes, Batman 120's first up. Not much to really say. It's got a nice cover. It's cool.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's just confirming stuff, with the Batman Inc stuff, right? Like there was more about that in the week, so I assume this was confirming it. But...
Yeah, Detective Comics 1051, 52, because we're doing this weekly event, of course, with Detective Comics still.
It's interesting. Is Batman monthly again?
I believe so. Once Williamson takes it over, it's going monthly, but Tech is going.
You can tell Connor's missed the last solicits or two.
I have, yeah.
But then Tech's going weekly for 3 months.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. It seems Tamaki is telling the rest of their story. So, well, because it's not even Mora, that's what I said there. But yeah, that's a lot of detective coming up.
Yeah, the story sounds really good though. So I'm kind of on board. I will say these all seem to have Behermo variants, which are
very nice,
very pretty. Hard to be mad at. So this goes up to 1054 in these solicits. I don't know if that's it is the last one. Okay. Oh wait, no,
that's at the end of Act 2. So it's the end. There's still another month of it. Yeah.
All right, so there's one more month of it. Okay, that's why did they have to phrase it like that? I saw grand finale and went, oh, it's the ending. Oh no, it's not. It's the end of Act 2. But okay. I mean, if they've actually grouped it into like 3 acts of 4 issues, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, that makes sense for each month.
Yeah. I wonder if the artist is grouped that way as well, because Max Raynor seems to be...
He's doing all 4 issues here, right?
So I wonder if each month's got a different artist.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I don't remember Max Raynor being the artist on the first month.
That's kind of neat. I Am Batman Issue 6, that's still coming out. And here's the news that I was referring to.
I was going to say, on I Am Batman, if you're going to move on to the next thing.
It was,
notable that he is going to be the Batman of New York City.
Oh yeah, I saw this during the week.
Yeah, that's a thing that they're doing now. Is we're doing just full on. All right, we're doing New York and DC, and it's gonna have a Batman. I'm not sure if I like it.
That's why I love DC, is because I like that they have their own cities, and like the actual cities. That's a kind of a Marvel thing, right? Like that's what always differentiated them.
Yeah, but the actual cities always have still existed in DC, though.
Yeah, but like I like the idea that like Metropolis and Gotham are the big cities for the United States in the DC universe. Like New York's there, but it's just, and Boston and all of those. But, I don't know. It's weird. Just having a Batman running around New York proper.
It's going to be weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Wonder Woman's always been tied to Washington, as far as I can remember.
Oh, but that made sense because she was a diplomat.
I was going to say that was one that they kind of didn't really have a choice with having with Washington because of its, political meanings.
I mean, you could just have a fake capital if you really wanted to.
They could, but there's if you want to portray stuff like, okay, we have the White House, which is the easiest way to convey a certain message to a large international audience.
Yeah.
To be fair, it is called Washington, D.C. So yes, the news that dropped right after me and Matt finished recording last week is that we're actually getting a new Shazam book, but there's an interesting swerve to what this is. Now, it's a mini-series, it's a 4-issue book with art by Doc Shaner, written by Josie Campbell, and this is Mary Marvel taking the sort of the headlining spot and becoming the new main Shazam. Which is kind of neat. And we've been kind of rooting for this. We were really excited by her inclusion in the Deceased mini, with her in that. And
it seems like a long time coming, because since I would say New 52, they haven't really known what to do with Billy. And they did the Shazam family stuff, but it all just kind of waited in water. So shifting Shazam to Mary, I think, is a nice... it's a nice move.
She's a character who's felt like she's been owed a bit more for a while, and it's nice that she's finally getting at least a little bit of a spotlight. Now, admittedly, it's a 4-issue book. It might not set the world on fire. Who knows how much of an impact?
But do you know what
is
good about it having a 4-issue book? It's all going to be Doc Shaner.
That is true. That is true.
I mean, if it's not, I will be livid, like angry at this, because surely it has to be. That's like the big selling point. For
it. And the cover's really nice as well. The one that's here on the solicit looks really good, as you'd expect.
Yes. Well, it's Shaner in that style. It feels very much. I think Shaner did the Shazam Multiversity issue 2, if I remember right. So
I feel like obviously Shaner's style, I think, fits a certain era of comics, and the Shazam characters do feel like they belong, maybe tied more to a Silver Age look than a lot of other characters do. So yeah, he's a perfect fit for sure. So
Thunderworld. Let me double check because I don't want to.
Yes, but this is going to be her freshman year of college. So it's the idea that she's the oldest kid. She's actually kind of crossing over into a period of early adulthood. So interesting to see how they tackle that story beats.
Yep, and I was wrong. Thunderworld was Cameron Stewart, but kind of similar style to Shaner. The thick Silver Agey look to it. But yeah, but no, this her and the rabbit again, because the solicit teases the a talking rabbit sent to her by her strange brother Billy. I mean, just from what we saw at the beginning of John's Shazam book that didn't last long, I do like that this is playing in those bounds of the Marvel family, which has been again, like I said, away for a long time. So it's bringing up these things, and I'm looking forward to it.
Sure. Yeah, no, I think I'm more excited because I want Mary to get the spotlight, but also just the idea that we're dealing with a character who is the whole concept of Shazam is tied to being kids. The idea that one of them is now growing up and is entering into a point where arguably should they even be changing how they look when they turn into the Shazam version of themselves is, I'm curious to see how they tackle all that. I'll be excited to see it. Next up, we have another new book. This is very much a follow-up to a couple of minis that are going on right now. We have Aquaman Issue One, and it looks like it's an ongoing from a glance here. This is Chuck Brown and Brandon Thomas co-writing with Sam Basri on art. I feel a little bit bad in this because I like the idea of this existing, but the books that have been coming out that have been Aquaman related, they weren't bad, but I didn't really feel any desire to read more of them after trying the first issues. So I feel a little bit bad that I'm not interested in this.
If they weren't out on such a busy week, I would still reading them. I'd be reading The Becoming still, but with everything else, I had to make sacrifices, and it sucks because I like having an Aqua book in there.
Yeah, what I said about The Becoming was that it didn't really feel very special. It felt like just an issue from the middle of a run. It could have been Dad Abnett's 15th issue. It kind of had that feeling to it, and therefore it just wasn't special. Despite the fact that it was supposed to be this new launching point for
but it does feel kind of like a midpoint because now it's almost meant to be the bridge between what we saw from Aquaman and now this Aquaman.
It's a bit unfortunate in a way that it's spinning out of these two minis because it makes me less interested that they're marketing it that way, because I'm like, I'm not really reading those, so I probably won't end up reading this now because they didn't really appeal to me that much. I don't really like Brandon Thomas that much from what I've read. And I'm like, it's a shame to not read the Aquaman book.
It's all just a little bit middling because you had that very house style Aquaman look that a lot of some of the older runs did, and after Kelly Sue's run, which had a very nice art style and had really interesting concept, Abnett's run got really interesting. Yeah, as it went on, some of this just kind of feels like we're back to I don't know, just random early Rebirth or mid New 52.
I feel similar to this in the same way I do about the Flash book right now. In that, I don't think it's necessarily a terrible book. I read a few issues, but it's just, it's fine. It's whatever. It's forgettable. It's not going to have any lasting impact. And I feel the same way just looking at this and having seen those minis, and I'm like, sure, they're probably fine, but there's so much else to read that
I do like that it seems free from editorial, and it seems like it's the story that Brandon Thomas wants to tell. Right? It's not like I don't feel like the front office at DC is being like, hey, we need more Jackson in here. I feel like that's just a character that Brandon Thomas wants to write.
Which is fine. When you say it's the story he wants to tell, I'm not sure what the story he wants to tell is, other than bringing Jackson up to being on the level of Aquaman, which is fine.
Right.
No problem with that. I'm not sure what the actual story is.
I appreciate that, and baby Andy's still there. Like, it's still continue with the continuity. It's just everything about it just looks like a typical next book. I mean, there's nothing special about it.
It's once we got to Water Gods, I was like, this is exactly where Aquaman should be. Like, it's a weird, fun book, and this seems like Pete was saying, it's more of that mainstream superhero version of Aquaman. That's fine, but I don't find it nearly as compelling as, the mythology Abnett was weaving, and then the actual real world mythology Kelly Sue was bringing into it.
It's a lot more generic.
Yeah. It just feels, ultimately, everything we've said, we spent like 5 minutes saying it, but ultimately it just feels a bit generic looking, and that's it. So, Monkey Prince Issue 1, we knew this was coming. It was heavily teased, of course. We'll be back in that special, yeah?
My stupid brain, as I was scrolling, I thought it was going to say Monkey Business. And then when it said Monkey Prince, I got sad. So, take that for where my mental state's been this last week.
Can I ask a question? This fellow on the cover next to Monkey Prince, what creature is he supposed to be?
So, did you read this? Do you remember the story?
From the special?
Yeah.
Not really, but I read it, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, he was like his, not sidekick, but kind of like an advisor. He's like a long-eared pig.
Yeah, I was going to say, pig-based, and he's riding a Nimbus Cloud from Dragon Ball.
Yeah. Well, it's the ears that are throwing me. Like, if it wasn't for the ears, I'd probably just say pig, humanoid pig. Yeah. But the ears are definitely. The ears are a bit, I don't know what you call it.
Let me look, because I remember the character.
No, it says in this list, a man with pig features.
There you go. Next up, we got Suicide Squad Blaze Issue 1. I have no idea what this is. Let's have a look. It's a 3-issue Black Label Prestige Plus mini. With art by Aaron Campbell, written by Simon Spurrier. So it's got a neat cover. I'll tell you.
And that is Aaron Campbell doing that cover, I believe, unless that's the variant, which it could be.
I'll think it is. It's got all the labeling on it, and that tends to mean it's the
main cover.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming as well. But I like that. If that is the interior artist, I am very down, because that looks very unique for a book.
I'll read the description for this one. The attacks begin without warning. Brutal, sudden, and cannibalistic. A metahuman with the power of Superman, but none of his humanity. An unstoppable being ruled only by hunger and instinct, striking at random across the world. To stop this threat, Harley Quinn, Peacemaker, Captain Boomerang, and King Shark have been assigned to Coral, Nursemaid, and Necessary execute deadly new recruits, the expendable products of secret government procedure called Blaze. They're ordinary prisoners endowed with incredible power and certain knowledge that it'll burn through them like a wildfire. They have 6 months to live, maximum. If you're staring down life in prison, maybe that's a good deal, especially if you're Michael Van Zandt, desperate to reunite with his mad lover who forsook you after your Bonnie and Clyde crime spree. Okay. This is getting really in-depth as to the team setup. There's a lot of
more as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of paragraph. I'm going to stop it there, though.
That's the only other bit from the next paragraph I do think is interesting. The power is transferable, so when someone dies, everyone else gets stronger.
Okay.
So it'll lead to this, maybe like they're, even more intentionally killing each other off, or hey, you go try to deal with that situation. It doesn't matter if you die.
Yeah.
King Shark just eats them all and becomes the ultimate.
Right. The cannibalistic angle as well. That sounds. I can see that going to come in, especially with King Shark.
That just seemed like a word salad as Pete was reading it.
It did, but I got quite a lot out of it as well.
Yeah, I would say that I'm intrigued by the art and the idea that they're hunting a monster. I don't. I don't think Simon Spurrier's name gets me revved up.
I've enjoyed absolutely everything I've read from Si Spurrier, so for me it does.
Yeah, so I'm certainly the art does make it a bit more appealing. So I'll probably give it a try ultimately. So it's 3 issues, 3 double-sized issues, Prestige Plus, all that kind of thing. Similar to what we've seen with a lot of other Black Label books, many of which we're going through right now. Weird Love Tales Issue 1. Is this their Valentine's one-shot? It is.
Just the main cover, which is by Paquette. The one that's first up there is the Amanda Connor variant, which is very funny. It's a take on the dating game. But the Paquette main cover has Harley romancing a T-Rex. And I'm mad that this is one of those big, 80 pagers that I'm not going to have time for. Because I definitely want to see Harley try to woo a T-Rex.
Just out of interest, does anyone know, it says in the, where it tells you like 80 pages, it says perfect bound.
So I think that's that thick.
Is that like what they do for the
magazine,
the specials, like the
I feel like this is just them adding in a thing to describe something they've already been doing with anything that's 100 pages.
Yeah,
it might well be. I've just never noticed it before, but I'm assuming it's just like those pseudo small paperback book essentially.
Yes. I think once you're over a certain page count, you have to do that, just because.
Yeah, because it doesn't hold up.
Yeah,
they never used to with these 80 pages. They used to still be.
Paper quality and all that stuff too.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, the chances of us reading this are pretty slim. But Harley and a dinosaur though. Like, I don't think I've ever read one of the Valentine's ones. I've read like one of the Christmas ones. Like we did that the first year they did one. The October one usually looks mildly interesting, but it's always in a busy week. So we tend to just do the actual anniversary specials as opposed to these, just there's a holiday.
Even them not so much anymore when they did them every month.
We still did them all.
Did we?
Yeah, I mean, I miss any.
Oh, fair
enough. So that goes into a few trades, which I'll skip over, but trades for recent things that have been coming out and some original graphic novels.
Yeah, the only interesting thing in those trades is they did confirm in the Robin Volume 1 that they're including those backups from before it.
Okay.
It's good to be sure of that.
Yeah. To get into the rest of the issues, though, we have Action Comics 1040. Not much to say, really. Story continues. Aquaman The Becomings Issue 6, so that's actually coming out the same month as the Aquaman Issue 1, so it's overlapping a little bit, which is probably smart.
I assume this will be a week or two before the Aquaman one.
Yes, and
it won't be overlapping, will it?
Overlapping in the same month. I didn't mean it would come out after it.
I mean, that's kind of the definition of overlapping.
Hey, what's next?
There we have Aquaman Green Arrow Deep Target Issue 5. So that's getting near its end come February. We have Arkham City, The Order of the World, Issue 5. That's been a very interesting little book so far, so that's cool. Batgirls Issue 3. The main covers on this Batgirls book have been really nice so far. I've been finding. The variants a bit more hit and miss, but...
Yeah, but who cares? They're variants.
Yeah, the main covers are nice. Yeah, that really cartoony, anime-looking one. I
kind of really like it.
I hate it.
The Valentine's one.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it with my passion. A fiery passion.
I love
it. Batman versus Bigsby a Wolf in Gotham. You know what I'm trying to say?
Wow, that was a hell of a
Issue 6. Issue 6. Batman the Night, Issue 2. It's the Chip Zdarsky book, which means definitely reading it.
Yeah, I didn't realize this was a thing. Maybe I did, but I'd forgotten by the time I scrolled through these.
Yeah, it's a Black Label.
It's a pleasant surprise to see again.
Yeah, so it's a prestige sized book. Or at least it's got a backup, I don't know, whatever. But it's Chip Zdarsky, anyway, so exciting. Batman Urban Legends Issue 12. That's still trucking on. Notably,
might have to make time for it. It's got a bear on the cover.
It's also got stories by Mark Russell and Ram V in it, so I mean...
And Ram V's doing a White Witch thing, I believe, so it'll be kind of following on from his Catwoman run.
Yeah, although Ghostmaker's
speaking of
evolved.
Ram V, I spoke to him at Thought Bubble last week, and I asked him about DC plans, because I was like, well, I've got to ask. I don't know how much we actually know. 2 books from DC in the works. One should be announced very soon, he said, so probably next month. Because they're not in these solicits, so at least that. The other one, he said, is significantly bigger as a project. So I'm assuming he's kind of moving up in the world a bit at DC, be taking on some of the higher profile books, which we're all for.
Yeah. I'm all about that. Also, he recognized you, which is probably worth mentioning.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to brag.
No, but it's fantastic, and it,
Well, I mean, it's not you specifically bragging. Like, if he recognized you, he'd likely recognize either of us too.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, the fact that he recognized you is,
Just in case anyone thought he recognized Connor from something else, he recognized Connor because of this show.
Yes, that is true.
It's not like Connor's got like a marketing campaign where he's like advertising like bubblegum or something, right?
Told him. He tells him, you got a face like one of those kids on the milk carton.
Batman Catwoman issue 10 is coming out. I feel like this book is like been way longer than 12 months. Like I feel like it should have
a book that never dies.
It did take a few months off, right?
I mean, it did, but it's like still, I feel like it should be like finishing next month. It feels like it's always ending.
You're still 3 months away from issue 10.
Black Manta issue 6, so that's also wrapping up in February. Blue and Gold issue 7 is coming out. That's the penultimate issue of that. Catwoman issue 40. Obviously, we've not tried the Tini Howard run yet, but that's coming up very, very soon. So we'll see. Dark Knights of Steel issue 4 is out in February.
Yep. Art by Bengal in this one, not Putri, which is
it's a flashback issue, so to speak. It's in the earlier years, it says. So
which while different than Putri's art, I'm still a fan of Bengal, so it's fine.
Yep, same. And also because it's a actual narrative reason for it won't just feel weird.
Right.
Sure. Then we got DC Horror Presents Soul Plumber issue 5. We got DC versus Vampires issue 5 as well. We got Deathstroke Inc issue 6. That's a hell of a cover on that one.
Yes, that is.
King Deathstroke is what we're doing, apparently.
If I ever had a van, I would paint this on the side of it.
That's it. Yeah, for anyone who's not looking at this, just to describe it, it's a long-haired and bearded Deathstroke with a sword who's sitting on a throne of skulls.
It's metal as shit.
Yeah. Then we got Future State Gotham issue 10, so that's still trucking along. Yeah. Green Lantern issue 11 is out.
I hope they're fighting a werewolf based off that cover, please.
It's not a werewolf. I'm just gonna.
Dang.
I'm just gonna guess.
Dang.
There's definitely no mention of a werewolf in the description. I just skimmed it.
Doesn't mean there's not.
It's a big reveal. They're saving it.
Hold on, let me look at the variant. Nah, don't be werewolf. Oh, that's a nice variant though with Kelly and the big robot construct.
It is quite nice.
How do we know she's not fighting a werewolf with the robot construct? You don't.
She could be. Yes, this is true.
Space werewolf.
Yes, Harley Quinn issue 12 is out. Connor can look forward to that. Assuming David keeps making him read it. Harley Quinn, the animated series, the Eat Bang Kill Tour issue 6. Yeah, I really wish they'd have an abbreviated name for that thing. So that's coming out. Human Target issue 5.
This Smallwood cover looks like a pulp book.
Mm-hmm.
Just down to the lettering, and I'm so here for that.
I love both covers.
Yeah, the variant's actually really nice.
And the Ben
well.
Oliver one's very nice too, but like this one speaks to me on an emotional level for whatever reason.
Because the other cover is like basically a bunch of like superhero related items like flying at our main dude.
Yep.
I've forgotten his name again.
Christopher Chance.
There you go.
It's literally the first words of the solicit.
I didn't look at it yet. All right, what do you want from it? He's Human Target.
It's repeated. That's his Nick Miller style. That he's never learned to read. He just memorized words.
Next up is Naomi issue 73. I mean Justice League issue 73. That was from Matt. I hope he enjoyed it.
It does have a Naomi cover.
Yeah, it's just Naomi on a white background. Yeah. Justice League Incarnate issue 4 is coming. Very curious to see what this is going to be like. The follow up to.
I think it's next week. It starts, right?
Something like that.
The week after.
You got Justice League versus the Legion of Superheroes issue 2. I know Matt's going to be reading this.
Yeah, they're gonna make me read it. However, the variant with Hawk Girl and Dawnstar, pretty good cover.
It's nice. It's well drawn. Yes, the art's nice. It's Travis Moore, so
yeah,
it's good. Nightwing issue 89. this is a Superman Nightwing team up issue. Apparently, it's got a really nice cover.
Yeah, it's.
I hope
it's the first of a 2-part crossover.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, and I hope the covers match because it seems like it does.
Oh, it definitely does.
Oh,
Although
I honestly, that variant though of Nightwing eating pizza on top of the girder, really nice.
Yeah,
that is good.
Really nice. I do like the one with Batman and Superman though, and it's just John Superman for the record.
On the Superman Son of Kal-El issue 9, which will be in March's Solicits, which is obviously part 2 of this. When they did the press release of this, they said it's the same creative team that's doing that. So I'm assuming that means Bruno Redondo on art as well for that issue.
Oh, interesting.
Which is kind of cool. You don't usually see that across different books that have a 2-parter. No. You usually have maybe the same writer, but not usually the same artist. So that'll be kind of cool.
Yeah, well, obviously this is happening presumably because Tom Taylor's already writing both books anyway, so he's engineered a little crossover for himself.
I would assume so, yeah.
But we see that done every so often. Next up, Nubia and the Amazons issue 5 is coming out. That's the penultimate issue. Then we have One Star Squadron issue 3. I forgot this existed again. This is the Mark Russell book.
But every time I see it, I'm like, oh yes, I'm really excited for this.
Mark Russell, Steve Lieber, match made in heaven.
Yeah, and then we got Pennyworth issue 7, which I have no interest in, but I will admit that cover's kind of alright.
It's had great covers throughout. Like it's had like those Foreigners covers. Every single one of them has been great.
Yeah, we got Refrigerator Full of Heads issue 4. We got Robin issue 11. So
that's a fun cover.
It's a selfie on a phone. Yeah,
remind you that all these characters aren't dead. Back to good times before the tournament.
We got
really nice variants.
Well. Robin's issue 4 coming out in February. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You 114, Suicide Squad issue 12, Suicide Squad King Shark issue 6. You can really tell that Suicide Squad's become one of those things where there's 3 or 4 books at a time with Suicide Squad branded on it.
It must sell though. Like there's no.
You assume so.
Because obviously you think, okay, this is because obviously they've got the Suicide Squad movies. They've got a game coming out. It's in the zeitgeist.
Joe's funny though, is I was listening to a podcast, and it was a gaming podcast, so we're talking primarily about the game. It was right after Fandom hit, and the conversation from people who weren't really following comics, right? It was just, and that's why it was kind of interesting to hear what they're saying about it. Is they felt like Suicide Squad is a thing between the new movie and the game coming next year. It felt like Warner Brothers are desperate to make it this big thing, but they don't really feel like it's actually a bigger deal compared to the actual main DC things. It's like they're really trying to make Suicide Squad this popular brand that people really care about, but they didn't really feel like it actually was that.
I think it's very clear they want it to be their equivalent to Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
In terms of it's this kind of quirky offbeat team, that they have a little bit more flexibility in that they can kind of change the lineup and do kind of,
well, there's that.
If things don't work, they can change it around a lot easier.
And it's got the Harley factor too, right? Yep. Like throw her in there. So
yeah. So I think it's funny. Like I do kind of see them like trying to like make sure, almost feel like a bigger thing than it actually is.
Yeah,
which is true. But even so, I'm saying when it comes to the comics specifically, because obviously it's a much smaller market than the games or the movies, they must be selling reasonably well. Otherwise, they wouldn't keep making them like this.
True. I do wonder though, to Matt's point, is that I do wonder how much of that is just because Harley Quinn's on most of them versus Suicide Squad as a brand itself.
I mean, she's
not on the current team.
That's true. Yeah. What's that, Matt?
Is she on the current lineup?
I don't think she is in the main.
I don't think she is anymore, no.
She's in all the minis though, and like the Black Label.
Yeah, she's in all these like, offshoots and stuff. Yeah.
Real quick though, there's a King Shark variant that I think is from Seeley, and it might be my favorite thing I've seen in a very long time. It's done in the style of awkward family portraits.
Oh, right. That's
amazing.
He's in an ugly sweater. He's with the whoever his love interest is, and it's just this is
it's the shark amazing. With the resting the head on the fist.
The thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely, his expression is the King Shark from the Harley cartoon.
Yeah.
So
still the best King Shark.
Yes.
That is. Supergirl Wound of Tomorrow issue 8, so that series wraps up in February. Very cool.
Kara's seen some shit.
Looks like she's been through hell. No denying that. Then Superman Son of Kal-El issue 8, and look at that, we got an Aquaman
appearance
here. Yeah, very cool. So, and then we got Swamp Thing Green Hell issue 2. This is the Jeff Lemire, Doug Mankey Black Label prestige book. Yes. I mean, it's Lemire, Swamp Thing, so I'm reading it.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, just it's happening.
Oh no!
Wow, what we got? What's upset?
I just got to the next book, and this would
Task Force Z issue 5.
Yep.
We got some Two-Face action going on in this one apparently. Yeah. Oh, that variant though, Matt. Oh.
Let me see. Yeah, look at
that.
So
good lord.
That's a Matina if I ever saw
one.
That is.
Is that Bloom? Is that Bloom?
Mr. Bloom. That is the full force of Mr. Bloom.
That's one of those where you don't even have to check whose variants that is. You see, they go, oh, that's a Matina.
Yeah, it's just.
Rosenberg throwing Two-Face in on here on the zombie team. The book that I didn't even want to read, and it ended up being vaguely good.
This was I sent to Pete the other day, and I did post on Twitter for anyone who does follow me there. But for the rest of the listeners, I've been catching up on my books. This was the biggest surprise for me out of everything I read from the last month or so of comics, because I hated it. I couldn't finish it. I literally couldn't finish the issue. I thought it was horrible. So overwritten. I got about halfway through. I was like, I'm putting this down. I'm not getting any more. And I'm surprised because I thought I would enjoy it.
Matt, last night he said that Scott Pilgrim was better than Back to the Future, so don't listen to him.
It is.
No, it's not.
I want to choke you right now, and I like Scott Pilgrim.
Teen Titans Academy issue 12 is out in February. Then we got the Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries issue 11. The Flash 779.
Snap.
Wally's whole family in the business here, which is always nice to see. The Joker issue 12 is out in February, so that's cool. 14 is the last one, or at least it's the last one in Tynan's story.
Right.
Yeah. So that's cool. So that's getting near the end of that story. Joker Presents a Puzzle Box issue 7 is out in February. Titans United issue 6 is out. With Starfire and not Starfire.
Blackfire, I'm assuming.
Blackfire, yeah, probably.
Is this her?
Yeah.
So very neat. Wonder Woman 784 is out.
Oh, all the covers. God damn it.
The variant cover for Wonder Woman is the one I like more, I think.
I really like. I mean, I love Dodson covers as a rule. So yeah, I'm a big fan of both those covers.
But the variant looks very much like Gal Gadot, which I appreciate.
Sure. I just kind of like the line work and the it's just nice. I don't know. I don't have anything else to add. Wonder Woman Evolution issue 4 is out in February. That's issue 4 of 8. Then we got World of Krypton issue 3 in February. This is Vendetti who's writing this book. I forgot this existed as well, to be honest. This happens all the time with these minis. I always forget they exist until they actually start coming out, and I've at least read one issue or two.
I forgot until this week where it was being advertised in the back of the some of my comics was like, oh, December. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that's starting soon.
Yeah, and then that's basically you're onto the other collections that are coming.
So. Absolute multiversity though.
Absolute Gotham Central as well.
Oh, it's an Omni. Reprinting the Omnibus.
That's what I meant. Omni, not Absolute. I'm sorry.
That would be a monster of a book, an absolute size.
Yes.
And also, just worth mentioning, the Hellblazer Volume 26 is actually the final volume of all the original Hellblazer stuff. They got all the way through it. This is, you can get all 26 volumes, and you got the complete, Hellblazer 1 to 300.
Assuming volumes 1 through 25 are all in print.
They are as of right now.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Because they're just regular paperbacks, so they keep them in print pretty easily.
Right.
So yeah,
very neat. Legion of Superheroes 5 years later, Omnibus Volume 2. If you want to get more of that, I don't know if it's the rest of it. I don't know how long that era is, but it's another 1,300 page book. So
yeah, Denny O'Neil Question Omni Volume 1.
That's nice. So some interesting stuff they're collecting and reprinting. But there you go. That's the February Solicits. I wouldn't say it's not like a super exciting Solicits, and that we got a couple of interesting minis that have been added to the roster, but no big heavy some big giant new ongoings that are shaking up what DC's doing. It kind of feels like they're quiet for a few months before whatever event they're going to have next year is going to kick in properly. Because I expect there'll be something in the summer. With
the amount that Williamson's writing, I have a feeling he's going to be taking the lead on something between Deathstroke Inc, Justice League Incarnate, and his Batman. I feel like there's something percolating.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And, you don't want any fish in your percolating.
Huh?